and welcome to 70s Unheard on Radio KCM, where we focus on forgotten and underappreciated artists and music from the greatest decade in the history of popular music, the 70s. I'm Jeff Gerkins, and today I'm very happy to be joined by a special guest, a gentleman I met at a party at the Vanderhoeven household probably 15 years ago. I can still remember this guy rolling in on a Ducati motorcycle. I think that's what it was. We were making small talk when it quickly became obvious that this was a guy rich in life history, a fun conversationalist, and somebody I wanted to know. It also became very apparent that we had a whole lot in common, similar taste in music and an interest in the outdoors and kayaking. And over the years, we've spent many a day floating down a random river in our kayaks, playing music and telling tales while on the water. So I'd like to welcome Noel Gilbreath, a retired realtor, guitarist, proud father, fiction enthusiast, former resident of Jackson, Mississippi, Jackson, Tennessee, Memphis, El Salvador, and for the past many years, Knoxville, Tennessee. Welcome, Noel. I'm happy to have you.
Well, I'm happy to be here, Jeff. You know more about me than I know about.
Yeah, you know what? I've always found you to be a fun guy to hang out with, and loved the stories you tell. And you've made those days on the water so much fun.
Well, same here. Here.
So tell me, I know based on our float trips and our conversations, music means a lot to you, and it's played a part in your life. And I can tell by our planning of this show. So tell me about music's impact on your life, what it's meant for you, and what makes it emotional for you.
Well, that's a good question, and I would start by saying too that any of your friends or listeners that get the opportunity to do this, you're going to find it to be a lot of fun, because it kind of makes you think about why and what you were all about in the music, your music enjoyment.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So no, I think probably as much as anything, I might have been a lonely kid, and music was a way to not be lonely. So it probably started, very young, country music. Yeah. You'd hear that, back in Jackson, Mississippi, any restaurant or place you stopped into had a jukebox.
Right. And for all of us, I think before we could drive and we were sitting around our houses, radio, records, that helped us kill those Friday and Saturday nights. So tell me what went into your song choices today. What were you thinking about when you picked them? And then we'll talk about your first choice.
Well, just trying to think about fun experiences that may have, that had a musical background, you might say, and maybe even some emotional times.
Right.
That's what that does for all of us. I was telling somebody the other day, I might have told you too, that you go to listen to guys playing covers of songs in some of the neighborhood bars and things, and it's occurred to me of late that I'm like, I've already heard that song a million times. I hear it in Ingles.
Right.
Why don't you play the B-side?
Right.
Why don't you play the forgotten song, the unknown song? So then it's kind of funny how that's what you're doing here.
That's why this show exists. All right, so our first song is from a member of the Animals, Eric Burdon. Why'd you pick this song?
Well, so the British invasion, February 1964, the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. I immediately run to the mirror and comb my hair into my eyes. It rocked us back in that day.
Right.
And people say it made the world technicolor. But so the first band I got to see was Eric Burdon and the Animals. It was just called the Animals then. They were part of the British invasion. They were the bad boys.
Right.
And, go into this, I'm 12 years old. It's this old brick auditorium in Jackson, Mississippi. Wooden floors, wooden chairs, and you can feel everything creaking and the excitement building. And they were late, of course, coming on stage. And then they stumble out, looking like they're loaded, which we didn't quite know what was back then. And lo and behold, they had a smoke machine.
Wow.
And there they were playing the old stuff. So then to get into the 70s is why I picked Spill the Wine. I really dig Eric Burdon's voice and such.
All right, so that's what we'll open with, keeping with the 70s theme. Spill the Wine, that was the debut single by Eric Burdon solo in the band War. It was released in 1970. It was the band War's first Billboard charting hit. Later, they hit with songs like Why Can't We Be Friends and Low Rider. But this is Spill the Wine with the Animals. Eric Burdon, one of Noel's first choices today.
once out strolling one very hot summer's day, when I thought I'd lay myself down to rest in a big field of tall grass. I lay there in the sun and felt it caressing my face as I fell asleep and dreamed. I dreamed I was in a Hollywood movie, and that I was the star of the movie. This really blew my mind. The fact that me, an overfed, long-haired, leaping gnome, should be the star of a Hollywood movie. But there I was. I was taken to a place, the Hall of the Mountain King. I stood high upon a mountain top, naked to the world, in front of every kind of girl. There was long ones, tall ones, short ones, brown ones, black ones, round ones, big ones, crazy ones. Out of the middle came a lady. She whispered in my ear something crazy. She said, "Still wine, take that girl. Still wine, take that girl. Still wine, take that girl. Still wine, take that girl." I thought to myself, what could that mean? Am I going crazy? Or is this just a dream? Now wait a minute, I know I'm lying in a field of grass somewhere, so it's all in my head. And then I heard her say, one more time, "Still wine, take that girl. Still wine, take that girl. Still wine, take that girl. Still wine, take that girl." I could feel hot flames of fire roaring at my back as she disappeared, but soon she returned. In her hand was a bottle of wine, in the other a glass. She poured some of the wine from the bottle into the glass and raised it to her lips. And just before she drank it, she said, "Take the wine, take that girl. Still wine, take that girl. Still wine, take that girl. Come on. Still wine, take that girl. Take that girl. Yeah." Desmond has the car on
And that was the Beatles, of course, from the White Album from 1968. But for the purposes of this show, it was issued as a single in the United States in 1976 when it peaked at number 49 on the Billboard Hot 100. In the 70s, the Beatles re-released, I guess it was Apple Records, re-released a lot of those songs as singles. One of them became like a top 15 hit was Got to Get You Into My Life, and when they re-released that one. So tell me, what's the story behind that song, and why did you choose it, Noel?
Obla-dee, obla-da. Yeah. Obla-dee, obla-da. And the whole White Beetle album, really.
Yeah.
But, I'm, 15 years old, and my mom remarries, and my stepdad moved us down to San Salvador, El Salvador.
Wow.
So they let me come. They went down first. I came down on my own. I was telling you that, first time I'd ever flown, Mississippi hayseed, never been off a flat land.
And you were by yourself?
Yeah.
At what age?
15.
Wow.
And so we fly out of New Orleans, from Jackson to New Orleans, and I had like $20 with me, and we get in the air, and they go, "Well, folks, we've had a little issue here. El Salvador has a curfew. You can't fly in after dark, so we're going to have to put you up in Guatemala City overnight." So I'm like, "Oh, that's great." I didn't think about the fact that I didn't have any money, but so they'd give you everything. They put us in this beautiful hotel, so that was a cool story to do that. There was some other issues going on, but get to El Salvador, and obviously I don't know anyone and can't speak the language, so I did bring my record player, my trusty record player.
You brought a record player
yes,
with
I
you?
Did.
Wow.
I think I would rather have that than underwear. But and we had a really nice kind of setting on a mountainside and looking up at a volcano. I've forgotten the name of it there. It's famous. But and would sit on the rooftop with my record player playing the White Beetle album.
Right.
And, Obla-dee, obla-da, to my weird way of thinking, kind of sounded, like Latin or Mexican or something.
A little off-center rhythm. So, I can see that.
Probably hoping I would draw in, a 15-year-old girl that admired my music. But anyway,
I like it. That's a good way to feel at home.
Yeah, right? It was a wonderful time.
So we're going to continue with a second Beatles song from 1970. Why did you choose this one, Noel?
Okay, so before the El Salvador move, I was pouring beer and making pizzas at 15, if you can imagine that. They let you do that then. And the pizza place I worked, the local people, the folks would come in and have going away parties. And I was like, wow.
Going away parties for what?
For Vietnam.
Oh.
And they're yucking it up and getting all excited and getting drunk and having a big time, sending off their 18-year-old son to the Vietnam War, which in 69 was the height of the mayhem over there. So, looking back on it over the years, I was like, wow. And they were they would just play over and over Let It Be and Hey Jude. So that's why I picked it.
Very cool. So, and that kind of adds a different meaning to me when I think about some 18-year-old getting ready to ship off, and the message of the song is Let It Be. Yeah. So Let It Be is the 12th and final studio album from the Beatles, released in May of 1970, nearly a month after they announced their breakup. So here's the Beatles with Let It Be.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance
the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Oh, there will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Oh, there will be an answer, let it be.
and Message to Love. First heard at Woodstock in 1969. It was not released on record until the Band of Gypsys live album. That's Jimmy's first without his original group. Recorded on January 1st of 1970 at the Fillmore East in New York City with R&B musicians Billy Cox on bass and Buddy Miles on drums. A grouping frequently referred to by music fans as the Band of Gypsys. And I really wasn't familiar with this song, Noel, until you chose it, and I love it. It signals that R&B and funk direction Hendrix may have taken had he lived beyond September of 1970. So, Noel, tell me, why this song? And I do think it's a great choice, but what went behind this choice?
Well, I loved Hendrix. One of my first albums ever. You join these record clubs, and they sent me the White Beetle album and Axis Bold as Love and the first Buffalo Springfield record.
Right.
3 awesome pieces of music. But,
love it.
So then, I wanted to hear some more Hendrix. I moved from El Salvador to Jackson, Tennessee, the cradle of rockabilly.
Right.
And, lonely. I'm the guy that's sitting at the lunch table by myself. I entered into school mid-semester and hadn't even been going to school much in El Salvador. A little bit of private tutoring. But so... I'm lonely, I'm lost, I'm confused, like, you would be even if you didn't move to a new school.
Right.
At that age, 16, I guess. And I'm listening to Hendrix, liking the sound, and he goes, I am what I am, thank God. That's one of his lyrics. And, music's kind of one of those things that if it hits you at the right time, you dig it. And that was it.
Did that affect you? Did it change how you accepted, whether you were accepted or not by the kids in Jackson moving from El Salvador?
It didn't change them, but it changed, my outlook.
I like it.
And of course, eventually I met some kids and had a good time. And
that's great. Hey, so we're listening to 70s Unheard on Radio KCM. This is my special guest, Noel Gilbreath, and we're going to move actually in another kind of R&B funk direction with one of my favorite songs, especially soul songs from the early 70s, from Curtis Mayfield. Tell me, again, what went into this choice?
Okay, so between years of college, I guess freshman, sophomore year, wanting to stay in Memphis to be near a girl. And
many a choice was made for that reason.
Yes. So I take a job selling Florsheim shoes on Front Street in Memphis.
Wow.
And, the hippie era had been peace and love, and everybody got along. And then I'm looking down Front Street, and there's these really grim-looking guys with these big hats and real long Eldorados, and you hear they're carrying guns, and it's becoming coarse and a little bit meaner. But the Superfly was the song, and you probably couldn't have seen them in any better place, but maybe Memphis and Detroit. So
you had Stax Records right down the street. You had Isaac Hayes driving a big Eldorado or something around in that era.
Might have been Isaac, too, big gold Eldorado.
We toured that a couple of years ago, my brothers and I, and they still have that car on display in the old Stax record studio. So that Memphis is the cradle of that 70s soul.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, you should make the trip. It's close. You used to live there. I'm sure you have friends.
Yeah.
All right, let's play this one. Superfly is the third studio album by Curtis Mayfield. It was released in July of 72, and it was released as the soundtrack for the blaxploitation film of the same name. A classic of 70s soul and funk, Superfly was an immediate hit with 2 million selling singles, Freddie's Dead, and the title track, Superfly, one of the few soundtracks that outgrossed the film it accompanied. So, here's Curtis Mayfield from 1972.
With the moon shining bright, there's a set going strong, a lot of things going on. The man of the hour has an air of great power. The dudes have envied him for so long. Oh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. Hard to understand, but a hell of a man. This cat of the slum had a mind, wasn't dumb. But a weakness was shown, cause his hustle was wrong. His mind was his own, but the man lived alone. Ooh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. The game he plays for keeps. Hustling times in ghetto streets, trying to get over. That's what they're trying to do, y'all. The aim of his role was to move a lot of blow. Ask him his dream, what does it mean? He wouldn't know. Can't be like the rest, it's the most he'll confess. But the time's running out and there's no happiness. Ooh, super fly. You're gonna make your fortune by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. Super fly.
Was in his hand. Well, late at night when the people were gone, he used to pick up my guitar and sing a song in a shaky voice that was real as the day was long. Tonight's the night, yes it is. Tonight's the night. Tonight's the night, yes it is. Tonight's the night. Early in the morning at the break of day, he used to sleep until the afternoon. If you never heard him sing, I guess you won't too soon. Up and down my spine. When I picked up the telephone and heard that he died out on the main line. Tonight's the night. Tonight's the night. Tonight's the night. Tonight's the night.
Was Neil Young with Tonight's the Night, recorded in 1973 but released in 1975. Tonight's the Night comes from the album, the same name. It was inspired by the death from a heroin overdose of his roadie, Bruce Berry. In fact, the song begins mentioning Bruce Berry. It begins with him singing in a voice that sounds fragile and vulnerable and close to panic. It's a great song from 1975, raw and full of emotion. So tell me, why that choice? And it is a good one.
Well, I think as of late, it seems like I'm really enjoying demos,
right?
Like, the Beatles anthologies and stuff like that, where they show some of the raw track or play some of the raw tracks. And
right.
That's probably what made this song appealing to me, is that it is so raw. We'd all been listening to After the Gold Rush and the Heart of Gold, and then to hear something so emotional and raw like this. But Yeah, it reminds me of a buddy too. This is the stolen guitar story, but there was a really good guitar shop on down in Midtown Memphis, and I think he knew somebody who was kind of a bad guy and busted out the window and stole a 1969 Les Paul right out of strings and things.
Valuable guitar.
And, my buddy wasn't that kind of guy, but I guess he wasn't, didn't mind buying it from him. So, yeah, he'd grab that Les Paul and go up. His band wouldn't play Tonight's the Night. They thought it was too dark and weird. And we'd go up and he'd go up and play and sing Tonight's the Night on the stolen Les Paul. So.
That's great. And I know you're a big fan of Neil Young. So, hey, let's talk about your children. I know you're proud of them all, but there's one particular son, Warren. I want to talk and kind of get your thoughts on his musical career, because he has a distinguished one at this point in life. So what can you tell me about Warren's music?
Well, I had guitars laying around the house when they were little, and I don't think they paid a whole lot of attention to them. And I will say to anyone listening too, if you do have a guitar laying around and you do want your kid to play the guitar, make sure it's playable. I was just
a good one.
Yeah. And so it wasn't a great one, but it had, what'll happen is the strings will get too far from the fretboard.
Right. And
then the kid will play it and go, well, I can't play this. And you don't know why your kid can't play it if you're not a player. So anyway, I made that public service announcement. Get your kid a guitar with low action.
So I'm playing in the background Dierks Bentley. And during COVID, he did a series of live concerts on his back deck. And Noel's son Warren is actually his banjo player. And this is him playing with Dierks Bentley on a COVID era broadcast. There he is.
Yeah, he actually did a lot of guitar on that set too. What's funny about those guys too, they're so good that I think Dierks called him like a day or two before and sent him the set list, and I'm not even sure they practiced. They may have played a few times, around the house, but
that's really cool.
Then he just shows up, and you got to be ready to go. And I think he did pretty good. There might be a mistake or two.
Oh well, listen, I've never made a mistake. So anyway, he's really a talented guy. He has a new album out that I actually really like, and I bought it on vinyl and enjoy it. So we'll play it at the end when we close out the show. It's called Commuter Rock: Songs for a Drive. A bunch of great driving songs. But anyway, let's move now to Wishbone Ash, which is a British hard rock band from the early to mid 70s. Why Wishbone Ash, Noel?
Well, this is a great story, I think. Me and a buddy of mine, Steve Botts in Memphis, fraternity brother, we're going to go to Mazatlan, Mexico, which is over on the Pacific coast.
Right.
And we leave and get to one afternoon, drive all through the night, get to Nuevo Laredo. We only had 3 or 4 8-tracks back in the day, and one of them was Wishbone Ash. I think that's called Warrior.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's all we had. And we get down to Nuevo Laredo, though, and my hair's down to my shoulders. This is about 73, I think. And the immigration officer, he won't let me in the country unless I get a haircut. And he sends me down the street to his brother to cut my hair. So I actually think the play was less about my hair, because I thought it looked great, but it was probably more about giving his brother $1.25 for a haircut.
I love it. I love it. Those are great stories, man, and good travel. So we'll go ahead and play Wishbone Ash. They're a British hard rock prog band. They achieved success in the early to mid 70s, noted for their extensive use of harmony twin lead guitars. And Noel and I talked about it. Reminded us of Skynyrd, but kind of in a different way. So this is from their second album, Argus, voted as the best rock album of the year in 1972 in Great Britain. So here's Wishbone Ash.
search for something new, leaving everything I ever knew. 100 years in the sunshine hasn't taught me all there is to know. The valley, we will gather there, helpless in our surrender. Tomorrow the plow becomes the sword, make us stronger in our danger.
That's the title track to a studio album credited to the Stills Young Band, a collaboration between Stephen Stills and Neil Young. That version's Neil Young doing that song, Long May You Run, released in 1976. And that song was written in tribute to Young's 1948 Buick Roadmaster hearse, which he named Mort, short for Mortimer Horsberg. Get that name. But anyway, what does this song mean to you, Noel?
Well, I had moved to Knoxville in 1976 from Memphis, graduated Memphis State, and was just, again, in one of these situations where I didn't know anybody, all alone, that sort of thing. Worked hard in construction all day and get home and get the mind right and put on that whole record that Long May You Run's on.
Love that album.
I didn't have a 58 Buick, but I did have a Harley Electroglide parked in the living room of my West Cliff apartment on Lions View.
Well, I was going to bring that up. You're a car guy. That song is about a car. So tell me about some of the favorite cars you've ever had, what you're driving now, beyond the motorcycle.
Interesting. Well, right now I've got a little a 981 Porsche Boxster that is just really sweet car. Great sound. But yeah, I've liked cars. Go back to the Ford Pinto.
That one's not one to brag about necessarily.
Made it through the Pinto. Made it through the. I don't know how I ended up with a Ford Granada. Golly, so I
was expecting more impressive vehicles from you based on what you have now.
I've had some good motorcycles, but some pretty lousy cars other than this little Porsche that I just love dearly.
That's great. Hey, let's talk about Joni Mitchell. That's who we're playing next. Someone that I love. It's an artist that I've introduced my daughters and we listen to a lot. So tell me about what Joni Mitchell and maybe this album, Hygieia, means to you.
Well, we all were really crazy about Joni Mitchell in the late 60s in high school and everything. I think Court and Spark. And, I forget that was, anyway.
Blue is one of my favorite albums ever.
And, I kind of was looking for new music. We kind of dabbled in some jazz, and Coyote's kind of a jazzy, that whole record Hygieia is kind of a jazzy thing. And,
it really is.
I had moved to Knoxville and had nothing to do and bought a beautiful quarter-horse mare and would do that in my spare time. And so then when you listen to Coyote, that's kind of what it's about. And there may have been a waitress. And I'll let you figure that out when you listen to the song.
Absolutely. I know that's a part of this song. Actually, this was inspired. She was on the Rolling Thunder tour with Bob Dylan. And so was the actor and director Sam Shepard. And this is kind of what led to this, was her affair with Sam Shepard while on that tour. So, and I'll tell you, the thing about this song for me, I spend a lot of time, if I can't sleep at night, looking around on YouTube. We talked about this, and there were two great live versions of Coyote on YouTube. One is she's in L.A. doing a concert, and she's got that jazz band with Jaco Pastorius and Larry Carlton. It's great. And then the other is when she's introducing this song to Bob Dylan and Roger McGuinn at Gordon Lightfoot's house. She plays open-tuned guitar, right?
Yeah.
Very hard. They're trying to play along, and she's playing this song to those guys for the first time, and someone was filming it. It's really a cool video.
And that may be why it was so appealing too, because it was so different than, the pop music, the disco music, all the things that were going on in the 70s. So I just love it, still do. And the Hissing of Summer Lawns too. Yeah. That was the one she did right after that.
And that one was really jazzy.
Yeah.
All right, let's play this song. So This is Coyote, and this is the lead single from her album Hygieia, which was released in 1976.
No regrets, Coyote. We just come from such different sets of circumstance. I'm up all night in the studios and you're up early on your ranch. You'll be brushing out a broodmare's tail while the sun is ascending, and I'll just be getting home with my reel-to-reel. There's no comprehending just how close to the bone and the skin and the eyes and the lips you can get, and still feel so alone and still feel related, like stations in some relay. You're not a hit-and-run driver, no, racing away. You just picked up a hitcher, cruised around the white line. Why'd you have to get so drunk and leave me on that way? You just picked up a hitcher, a prisoner of the white lines on the freeway. A coyote right in the face on the road to Baljenny near my old hometown. He went running through the whisker weed, chasing some prize down, and a hawk was playing with him. Coyote was jumping straight up and making passes, and those same eyes just like yours under your dark glasses, privately probing the public rooms, peeking through keyholes in numbered doors, where the players lick their wounds and take their temporary lovers and their pills and powders to get them through this passion play. No regrets, Coyote, I'd just get off up a ways. You just picked up a hitcher, a prisoner on the white lines on the freeway.
Some time in Mozambique, the sunny sky is aqua blue, and all the couples dancing cheek to cheek. It's very nice to stay a week or two and maybe fall in love, just me and you. A special one, you seek a chance and maybe say hello with just a glance. The lion likes to her by the ocean, touching her hand, whispering your secret emotion, magic in a magical land. And when it's time for leaving Mozambique and say goodbye to sand and sea, you turn around to take a final peek, and you see why it's so unique to be among the lovely people living free up on the beach of sunny Mozambique.
Originally released on Bob Dylan's 1976 album Desire. That's one of my favorite Dylan albums. That was also released as a single and reached number 54 on the Hot 100. That's Mozambique with the violin playing of Scarlett Riviera and the background vocals of Emmylou Harris. That song is exotic and lush and unlike any other song Dylan produced before or since. Why did you pick that one, Noel?
Well, a little factoid too, that, Scarlett Rivera, he picked her up. He saw her on the street in New York City with a violin case and said, "Hey, can you play that thing?" And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the rest is history.
That's really cool.
So 78, I'm going to, we were going to Cancun, which I think had about 3 hotels then. And someone on the plane said, "No, you need to go to Isla Mujeres."
Right.
A lot of young people there, and it's really cool. And so we did that. And hadn't really heard any music for a few days, you know, and then so you go, well, go down to this coconut grove. Here's where everybody's hanging out.
Cool.
And sure enough, you know, Mozambique's blasting out of somebody's cassette player.
Really
you know,
cool.
and it just seemed so exotic, you know, with the being in Mexico, being on the island, and being in the...
It has that exotic feel.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, listen, we better wrap it up. We're running out of time. And that does it for this episode of 70s Unheard. Noel, thanks so much for joining me. That was fun, man.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Twitter or X at 70s Unheard, or you can hear all previous episodes at my YouTube channel. Just search 70s Unheard on YouTube. I look forward to hearing from you. So we're going to close out, as I promised, with Noel's son, Warren Gilbreath. And I want you to tell me what about his music and about his career.
Well, he's totally dedicated to the music. It's hard to get him to play out a lot, but
Right.
If you're in Telluride, look him up at the Telluride Music Guitar Shop.
Very cool.
They deal in vintage guitars, really high end stuff. It's a cool place, and yeah, maybe you can get him for a private party or something.
Very cool. Hey, listen, this album I love. It's all instrumental. It's driving songs called Commuter Rock. This is Warren Gilbreath closing out this episode of 70s Unheard.